Thanks for staying with us on MIDCAP Radio. All right, let's speak about Royal Orchid Hotels. They're looking at expanding. Keshav Balji is the Chief Financial Officer of Royal Orchid. Joins us here right in the studios. Keshav, thank you for joining us. Before we get into what you're doing going forward, if you can just walk us through what is your occupancy rate across each of the categories. I won't get into those that you operate, because sure, you're perhaps taking, but the ones that you lease and that you own, what is the occupancy rate at the moment, and how much have you been able to increase or decrease the average room rate by?
Sure. At this point, we haven't been able to increase the average room rate yet. What's happened so far is, if you compare us now with January last year, the ARRs have actually come down, typically about 5 to 10% across the board, whereas the occupancies have started to inch upwards. So in February or March, the average group occupancy was in the range of 40%. That has now come up to 55 to 60%. It's citywide rather than on a category-wise basis. Bangalore, for instance, is slightly weaker. It's about, I would say, 50 to 55%.
Keshav, usually when we look at hotel companies, the supply starts to reach a particular point where only almost demand is filling up 90%, and then suddenly you start seeing average room rates start going crazy, because then you can charge. Do you think we are anywhere close to that scenario, or do you think there's so much new capacity still in the pipeline that it may be a little difficult to increase the average room rate?
Well, I think what's happened is that the healthy thing that's happened now is demand has started to really ramp up. I've been in touch with some of our key corporate clients, and they've had, especially the IT sectors, had 2 or 3 very good quarters already. The auto sector is still chugging along nicely. The pharma sector for our Ahmedabad hotel is doing well. So what we found is that business has actually come back, and the lower rates have actually helped. For instance, in Bangalore, we haven't done many residential conferences over the last 3 to 4 years because the rates were prohibitive. This year, on the other hand, we do typically, in our flagship 5-star hotel, we typically do 2 residential conferences a week now, because the rates are conducive to people having conferences. Those that were going to Kuala Lumpur or Singapore earlier have now come back.
Okay, now give that in numbers. You would have some idea in terms of group bookings and advance bookings, because you're into at least the Indian summer holiday season, as well as perhaps with some conference bookings.
Sure.
How do you think your occupancy will move in the next quarter, that is the April-June quarter?
Sure. So the April-May-June quarter, we actually expect our occupancies to stay stable from where we are now. Keep in mind
50%?
No, we expect it to, well, we're actually now closer to 60% currently. We expect it to stay between 60 and 65%, in that range, at which point we also expect ARRs to start to increase between 4 to 5%. We don't think there'll be a massive increase, because keep in mind that's when the off-season starts to come as well. But we do expect occupancies to inch upwards.
Okay, and how many rooms would you have added by the end of FY11?
By the end of FY11, an additional 450 keys.
So you have 460 at the moment? No, you have 1100 at the moment?
We have 1100 keys currently.
So about 33% more.
That's correct. That's correct. In fact, and those keys, 70 keys will be opening under management contract, and about 380 plus will be opening under the owned category. So,
thanks a lot, Chandra, for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, that's the word from Royal Orchid, a stable to slightly improving scenario company. After this break.